Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking about how you can intern in Berlin this summer at a startup. We'll kick it off with, well, a few things for housekeeping first. We will be recording this call, so we already have the recording going. So if you have to jump off early, or something comes up and you kind of like miss the end, don't worry. Everyone who registered for this call will send a copy of this, and we'll share it after. Or if you weren't able to make the live call, thanks for watching this after. And yeah, we'll share it out with everyone who signed up. Let's start off with a round of introductions. My name is Hannah, and I'm our head of community here at Sage Core, and I work on all things marketing. I've been out to see our Berlin program. I was actually there for the orientation last summer and got to experience a little bit of this awesome city. I was also there with, we have a 2 week program that we run there as well. So got to run around and do some activities with the start programs as well and meet a lot of our startup partners. And I love Berlin. We were just talking about what like a sort of underrated destination we think it is in terms of like some of our locations in Europe. So you'll be hearing more about that today on the call. Frida, do you want to do my co-host? Would you want to do an introduction as well of yourself?
Yes, thank you. My name is Frida. I am the admissions and marketing coordinator, and I'm also an alum from the program. I did the Lisbon program, so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask in the Q&A.
Awesome. And Gus, will you do an introduction for us as well?
Yes, of course. Hi guys. My name is Gaz. I'm a sophomore at University of Michigan. I'm studying business. I did a program after my freshman year, so summer 2025 in Berlin.
Awesome. And we'll be getting way more into all of Gus's experience and yeah, what he was doing interning abroad this summer. And if you have any questions, feel free. There's like a Q&A feature sort of at the bottom, and you can put questions in there. We might get to them as we sort of go through the slides. Like we might sort of like answer them before we get to the end here. But still feel free to put them in there. And then if there's any questions that come up, we can sort of, yeah, answer those at the end or perhaps as we go. I'm going to turn it over to Frida now. She's going to give a little bit of an overview, just like on the Sage Core program in general, sort of like how all of our 8 week summer internships work and sort of what that looks like. So I'll turn it over to you, Frida.
Thank you, Hannah. So about the SageCore program, it connects university students to global startups. We're building the next generation of globally skilled professionals. We have had over 2,000 alumni from over 100 universities worldwide, and 86% secure full-time jobs within 3 months of graduation, which is amazing. And then just a little overview of how the program works. It's a three-part experience that blends the academic learning, professional work, and cultural immersion. So through the Skills Academy, you're able to complete online coursework before you travel. Then you have the full 8 week internship at your global city, and you'll be able to be culturally immersed while you live, learn, and explore with your cohort. So a little bit more about that Skills Academy. You'll be able to prepare for your role, that be business development, marketing, data analytics, UX, UI design, or software development through these LinkedIn learning courses that you'll be able to complete at your own pace. But we do recommend that you complete it before you travel out to your host city. Here you will be able to gain hard skills and the certifications that you'll need online. You'll also be able to learn a little bit about your host city, and you'll be able to do resume and LinkedIn edits, interview prep, and networking modules that are included here. So why startups? Working at a startup gives you the chance to be a part of a small team, which means you'll be able to learn from those around you and you'll be able to gain skills that go beyond your role. And because everyone wears multiple hats, you'll often be exposed to different areas of the business, and this helps you become a little more well-rounded in your skill set. You'll also have access to your founders and co-founders, and this makes it easier for you to ask questions directly to them and learn from their experience and see firsthand how these decisions are made. and you'll be able to do work that matters and creates impact. And it's also really fun. So with your internship abroad, it's an 8-week full-time project-based internship. You'll be able to collaborate directly with your startup founders and your team. You'll be able to play a role in roles such as marketing, strategy, product design, data analysis, or content creation, depending on your role type. And again, you'll be doing real work that creates a real impact, not just coffee runs. So with your internship, the matching process, it's a three-part process. You'll be meeting with your program manager first. Here, you'll be scheduling a skills assessment call and you'll discuss your goals for the summer, what it is that you want to gain out of your internship, what skills you have, and all of that in order to make it easier for your program manager to match you with with the correct startup, and you'll do resume and interview prep with your program manager. They will help you prepare and walk you through this process. You'll review your resume, make a few edits, and then once she goes out there and looks for those startups, she'll come back and sort of give you a prep on how to do an interview with them, just to get you more confident and prepared for your actual interview with that startup. So once you're at the interview with your startup, once the startup accepts you, it's a match. And if not, you will complete the next interview. And yeah, you'll just be able to connect with different startups depending on if you match or not. But no worries, you will be able to work with your program manager on this throughout the entire process.
Amazing. So a lot of what Frida just covered, this is for sort of all of our 8-week internship programs, no matter the location. But we wanted to talk about Berlin specifically and sort of what I alluded to before. Like, yeah, I think it's a really underrated city, sort of like in our suite of sort of European locations where we have summer internships. And Gus, I'm sure you'll have some things to add to this, but it's like a very, I guess, sort of cosmopolitan and international city. And I think that really lends to the startup scene, like, especially when you see like a lot of like the founders and sort of like the people that are coming to like build startups there. It's not just sort of like German startups for German companies. Like, it's really a lot of like founders coming from different places that are attracted to Berlin because of that sort of entrepreneurial startup scene. And I think that's something that leads into not only the startup culture there, but you also just see it like in the city culture as well. Like a very English friendly city in many ways, like easy to get around, easy to sort of like show up there and sort of like tap into that, yeah, culture and vibe a little bit. I don't know if you have anything to add to that, Gus, just like in terms of, yeah, what you sort of like witnessed in terms of, yeah, the city life a little bit, but
Yeah, just to like giving us a fun fact, Berlin is the most like the country in Europe. Berlin is this hub for the most startup companies. Like everyone that's like thinking about doing a startup comes to Berlin. If you're thinking of like you want the more early stage like startup, I'll say go to Berlin. If you want like the advanced stage of startup, go to France because France like they're more advanced. Because I was able to when I was in Berlin, I was able to talk to some French people like he did that did startups. Like they moved from Berlin to France because of like that kind of like segue. Like they started up in
mm,
Berlin and then they end up in France. So yeah.
yeah.
That just take a
And
little
that's
just a little
And that's a great point. Like a lot of the startup sort of like spaces and offices and things I'm thinking out of like Berlin as well, like again, kind of reflect that cool Berlin vibe in terms of
yeah.
like all these kind of like warehouses or like buildings that have been converted from different things, like sort of like scrappy. And then look on like France, like that's a great example where the startup hub that we work with out of there, it's called Station F. It's actually like the photo you see behind me on my Zoom background here, and it's the largest startup campus or hub in all of Europe. They on their website it says the world, but I've heard in Europe and in the world. But it's like a very big startup campus with some pretty big established companies. So you
Yeah.
kind of get to see a little bit of both sides of that. But yeah, I think that's a really good or an interesting fact, yeah, to share. We can go to the next slide. and we get to hear a little bit about, yeah, more in depth. Gus, we want to hear from you. Just tell us about, first of all, like what did your startup do? Like if you gave us sort of like the elevator pitch of like what was your company, and then maybe you can dive a little more into like your role there, and sort of some of the big projects you were taking on over the summer.
Yes, of course. So I was interning for this company called Paper Post Analytics, and we're like the main thing we're trying to do is implement AI into small to medium-sized companies and like try to find ways so they can upskills or reskill their employees so that they can be more efficient in the future. Like the problem that the CEO found was that a lot of these companies like they have employees that's like really good at something, but they're trying to create something new. They can't find the right skills, so they spend a lot of money like bring hiring new employees, or like they spend a lot of money on training. But there's an AI who can help you do that for lower cost and more efficient. So I was helping them doing that. My role mostly was because they was on really early stage. I was mostly doing research for them on like how to go to market strategy, how to pitch to clients, like improve how to improve their social media, like things like that. Like doing mostly research. But like the research was fun and it was good, but I wanted more like role. So I asked for more role because I want to study finance in college. So I asked for more role, and then she was able to give me more roles. So that's something you can do. So you can talk to your CEO, talk to your supervisor, and like you want something more, and they will give it to you because it's a startup company. So I was able to play around with the with the finances. I went through the IBM, found the IBM stage. They just created a deal with IBM, so I was able to see that and see the process go through. I also created a heat map for them on like investors, how we investors like
Mhm.
between like investors between debt investing and equity investing. I was helping them with that as well. Also, I was able to like do a little bit of coding. Like it wasn't like hard
Okay.
coding. It was more like it was easy. I was just like transferring English language to French language because they wanted to like have five different language for the AI because they're in
Yeah.
Europe and it wanted different language. So like I did a little bit of that. So like my internship was like mostly like different, like everything basically. But like the most thing I did was research, which was really fun.
Amazing. But you didn't even know, like, before you went in that you were
No,
going to be like
no,
coding. Yeah.
no, I didn't know I was coding. I didn't know anything. I was like, no, I had no coding background. The only coding I know is HTML, and that's like website building, but I never used that. It was more like, okay, hey guys, do you want to code? I was like, yeah. It showed me like one day, really easy, and I was like, and it, from there on, it just that's it. Like it's really flexible. I love it.
I love that though for
Yeah,
like I think two reasons. Like first of all, like you're a perfect example of like yeah, the intern that we like always love to see on our program who like comes in with the open mind, who isn't like I'm going to do XYZ, like you're coming in going like they're going, "Hey, do you want to try
yeah,
this or do you want to take this on?" And you're going, "Hey, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to figure it out."
yeah,
So,
exactly.
like I'm going to, try it because
Yeah,
you're getting the opportunity to do it. So why not,
that's
like
true.
jump right in. So, I
Yeah,
really
just
appreciate
all.
that. And yeah.
Or
Oh,
if
go
you
ahead.
want something more, always ask for like you want to do more or you want something more. They will give it. Like is
Yep.
it stuff? They'll give it to you. Like they always need help. You just have to say like I want to do something more, and they'll give it to you. If you
Yep.
look, the girl with or told her with glasses, well, Kelly, she was doing also research, but she was a sophomore. She knew how to code, and she was like, I want to do more coding. So she was helping the CIO like helping him code. Like she was with him the whole day, like coding their whole website and like fixing bugs and fixing issues. So that she was doing most of the coding, and then Rashi, she was doing more of the math problems. She was creating, I think she was creating like equations to help them solve like the coding, like the bug that was happening. So it's like we all came in like doing research, but like we ended up doing different things because we asked for them.
Yeah, yeah. And that was the other thing I'd say, like a great point of just like, sometimes we have interns go like, "Oh, well, I really wanted to do this and I didn't get," and I was like, "Did you
Yeah.
ask to do that?" I was like, "Did you show that you could do everything that was sort of like on your plate currently and then put your hand up for more?" Because yeah, it's that
Yeah.
showing that initiative that is like a great part of it. So, were you going to add something too, Frida?
No, no. I'm just agreeing.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
the same thing in my internship. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then before we go to the next slide, I wanted to ask too about like your startup founder and who led the company. If you could tell us
Yeah.
about.
Well, once again, I kind of forgot her name a little bit. Let me try to find her. She was, I'll give you a little back about her. She moved from the US to Europe to like start the whole company mostly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's what I was hitting at a little bit. Not necessarily her bio or anything, but just that
oh yeah,
we were kind of talking about people coming from all over before, and
oh
yeah, I got
yeah,
to hear her speak a little bit about her startup journey and like choosing basically to come to Berlin because she wanted to build her startup there. I remember. So
yeah. Like it was Madhu and then two other people. Also like everyone was like not from, they wasn't from Europe, but they wasn't from Berlin. They was like one of them was Indian, two of them was from the US, and then one of them was like close to where I came, like where I was living in Michigan. Like he went to Michigan State. So like they're
mm,
all from they were from everywhere.
yeah, yeah, a really international team.
Yes.
Okay, we can go to the next slide. So this is a little bit inside the workday. I guess, like a question we get sometimes is like, I mean, I think people know in theory what like an internship looks like, but like, what does it actually look like abroad in terms of like, you're living in this foreign country, you're living in this housing this don't know, you're in the city you don't know, maybe you have to take public transport for the first time, and
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit about like I don't know what that was like, or sort of like, is the workday the same in Germany? Is it sort of like a 9 to 5 situation? Where you did
Um,
you work remotely sometimes? Like, just tell us kind of what that looked like.
yeah, of course. It definitely like when you first go there, like you would it was for like supposed to be like the first week was like 9 to 5 because it was like the intro
Okay.
week, a lot to like get in. So 9 to 5, but then as the week went on, it did move from like 9 to 2 or like 9 to 1 kind of
Okay.
issue. But so like the way my day would work is like I have to be in the office at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it takes in Berlin, you'll be living in this place called the base, like
Okay.
co-living space. And then the place I was working at was the CIC, which is like a hub for startup companies, like different startup all in there. So I took the S-Bahn. The S-Bahn, there's like the S-Bahn and the U-Bahn. The U-Bahn is the underground railroad, and the S-Bahn is like the trains on top. So I
Yeah.
took the S-Bahn. We took the S-Bahn, and then from the base, and it's like a 1 hour all the way to CIC, and then we walk for like 10 minutes to get to where we are. It felt pretty long, but I was with my coworkers, so like we just talk or like chit chat, so like it didn't really feel like an whole hour. But inside the workplace, most of them was like we come in and we do a brief introduction of like what the day is gonna look like, or like a Monday, what we want out of the week and what we want out of each day, and like what needs to get done for each day. So like what research to get done, what checkpoint needs to get checked off, like things like that. And then once you're done with all your with everything, you can help out with someone else's work if you want to. You can try to like move on to the next day and try to like start on the next day kind of work. Mostly like that. Um, it was a it was a hybrid situation, so 3 days in the office and then 2 days remotely. That was really good. I love that. So I was just I was in the office Monday to Wednesday, then Thursday to Friday I would go to like a coffee shop, or I would like wake up at 12 o'clock and I will stay in the co-living space with my pages on and it's like grind up some work and then go out like 7 o'clock at night. So it's like that's one thing about like hybrid, like you have that more leeway to like get your work done when you want. So I really did enjoy that. And then we were moving on a fast pace. None of my other like cohorts they had this, but like we had like a brief 1 hour on a Saturday just to like make sure like everything is getting done, like things like that. But that wasn't like with everyone. So don't be if that's like an issue for you, you can tell the supervisor like you don't want to you can't come in, but it's not I don't think it was really the issue. I missed 2 meetings, like she didn't really have a problem with it mostly. Is that up to you? But yeah.
So, yeah,
Any other
and
point you want me to share?
well, I was going to say also the building that you guys were working out of like CIC. So it's different depending on sort of which startup placement you're doing. But we work with a lot of startup hubs and accelerators where these are buildings where they're hosting multiple startups. It's not just your company in an office. You know,
Yeah.
it could be that situation, but like in the case of your startup, like an early stage startup, like this is, I don't know how many startups worked out of CIC. I know it was quite a few floors.
It was from what I remember, it was four startup in general. So it was me and my coworkers, and then Demi, the girl on the top left. She was also in the
Oh yeah.
CIC, and then there was two more in the CIC with us. So
But
the four
those
in
are just
total.
stage core startups you're talking about. But I'm saying like the
Yeah.
wider startup
Oh
ecosystem, there
yeah,
was like
there
a
was
hundred maybe, or
over like a lot. It was a lot of people last time I was there.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And a
also like
cool. Oh no, go ahead.
when you're in the CIC, they have the best thing about working in this like startup co-living space. You have there's like things going on like throughout the whole week you can go to and you can go to and hear other companies pitch like their company. You
Yeah.
can go and experience like what they're working on. You can I had like for some reason I played this game where I was a CFO for a company and then we had to like do a mini scenario kind of problem and it was crazy.
Okay.
And I was like middle of like walking and that was like it was so fun. And then it's like you also have those chill kind of like 2 hour like 1 or 2 hours where you like grab food with someone else and you just like talk about what they're doing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
ask you about was if you went to any of those events because I know, yeah,
Yeah.
CIC they have like their own programming that's like
Yeah.
outside of just an individual company. Like they as sort of like the hosts like will hold different like startup events, and sometimes it's not even just for members. Like I went to one there where it was like they were inviting the wider Berlin startup
Yeah.
community
It
could
was
come in for
yeah.
like a talk or a conference, and they do some
Yeah.
resources like that. So
Yeah. They also host this thing called Venture Cafe. I think
okay,
it's like maybe once every week, 2 weeks, or once every month kind of thing. Where it's like there's different stuff everywhere, and just like they come in and like, they have a product, and you get to try it out. I went to one of the events, and like the drinking age over there is 18, so like they had wine, and like it's like a wine, like you grab a wine and you walk around and you just like look
yeah.
at every single startup company. So it's really interesting. I loved it. It was really good.
You're saying the wine helps with the networking a little bit.
Yeah,
Meet some
yeah.
new
Like
people.
no, like drinking wine and talking to people, you feel like even though you get 18-year old, like you feel so elegant.
That's awesome. I think we can jump to the next slide. So, yeah, we've hinted at this a little bit, but a reason that you would do the Sage Core program versus like, seeking an internship independently or moving abroad by yourself or doing something like this really is that sort of like culture and community experience that Frida was telling us about before. Like in all of these cities, including Berlin, you're with a group of 20 to 30 other college students from all across the country. A lot go into this experience not knowing anyone else. Like, yes, sometimes people will travel with a friend or someone they know from back home, but I would say usually like more than half the cohort is coming in just like you. They don't know, yeah, anyone else that's doing the program, or maybe there's some other people from their school, but they haven't met them before. So it's really a reason why, yeah, one of the reasons why you would want to tap into the Sage Core program is for that sort of like support, the on the ground sort of experience. You're going to have orientation together. You're living in the same housing together, doing all these experiences. And even in some cases, yeah, interning at the same company or the same space together. So if we go to the next slide, yeah, guys, I don't know if you have anything to add. I think the next slide has
Um,
some pictures from your time abroad. I think. Oh no, wait. We'll go we'll jump to that in a minute.
oh
We
yeah.
can talk about some of the
Um,
events as well, but yeah.
yeah, I would say the culture in Berlin is very interesting because like Berlin, Germany as a whole, like their culture
Uh
is like they're open, like they're the most open people you would ever meet, and like don't let that scare you. Like that's very like imagine someone that come up to you and can just like randomly talk to you out of nowhere, and like it's like that's normal or like that's something. So it's like it's very
okay.
open. I loved it. It was good. The like community between Sage Corps, like it depends. Like I would say, like it's like coming to like your freshman year in college. Like everyone, like no one knows anyone. Like everyone wants to make a friend. Everyone wants to like
Yep.
meet everyone. So like you just have to be able to go up there and like, hi, my name is Gus. I'm from University of Michigan. Like, what is your name? Where you interning at? Like things like that. That's like you know how like your freshman is like, oh yeah, what is your name? What is your major? What is your year? Like that
Yeah,
exact
yeah,
same thing. And then like everyone is like open to me. Everyone is like you create this bond with people like you've never met before. Like you this crazy bond, like and you do stupid stuff together. You do adventures together. You explore new countries, new spaces. You do things like you never thought you'd do before. So like it was the community there was very interesting. And then we have like my cohort. We had a group chat, and it's like someone was like, "Oh, on Saturday I'm going to the market. Hey, like I'm going to the market. Everyone want
yeah.
to join me?" And like five people like, okay, give me 30 minutes to get ready. I'll be downstairs. Like, okay. And then like, oh guys, do you want to go you want to bike around the airports and like just see what's there? Like, yes. Hey guys, there's a party going on this Friday. Do you guys want to come with me? And like things like that. So it's like all those experience, like you create those special bonds with so many new people you never met before.
Yeah. And I feel like Gus and Frida, you could both, probably talk forever about this. Like, there's
Yeah.
something about like going abroad with a group too that like almost like that accelerates it. Like the fact that you are like in another country, like it almost just
Yeah,
like
it does.
speeds up the process of like that, yeah, kind of that friendship or that bonding. And yeah,
Ooh.
I think that's awesome. Let's go to the next slide. Sorry, I got my slides out of order a little bit. These were some of the excursions. So there's 4 events that are included in addition to sort of orientation to some of the organized dinners that we include for all of our city locations. Um, they sometimes change from year to year based on feedback and also during the pre-departure process for any folks. I don't know if there's people on this call that are maybe even signed up to go that are going this summer to Berlin with us. We will do a pre-departure call where we also ask for your feedback on sort of like what you want to get out of your summer. We do this thing, it's called like the mural, where it's basically like, how much do I want to prioritize food versus history versus culture? Like, kind of give some feedback on that as well. So that also kind of influences the program. But I wanted to put these as examples just to kind of give people an idea of like what some of those events might look like for Berlin. So a popular one we do in a lot of our cities is the walking tour. And that's kind of a cool one too, especially for Berlin, because there is so much like history sort of in Berlin. And yeah, a way to kind of like get to know your city on foot and then also learn a little bit about the past of Berlin and have that. The river cruise is similar, where it's like a narrated tour and you're going down the canals and you're learning about the city, but then also like you're on the river and hopefully it's a sunny, nice day. So it's a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah, get to see the city and then also kind of enjoy just like being out on the water and yeah, hopefully some nice weather for that one. And then another excursion that I'm pretty certain we'll be offering again this summer because it's always just like a very popular one is the Berlin Wall tour. And again, that's like learning a little bit about your city and the history and the culture. And then, yeah, another one, which I'm sure you did, Gus, was going down to like East Side Gallery where they have old parts of the Berlin Wall. And then they've invited artists from all over the world to come in and do murals on different parts of the Berlin Wall. And that's kind of like a cool thing. Even if you don't do it with Stagecourse Excursion, like you can just go, I've done it like, self-guided because you just go through and yeah, see all the art and walk around that and spend some time doing that. I don't know if you have any, yeah, favorites or things you liked from, yeah, the activities or ones you would highlight, Gus,
Um,
but
I would highlight the river cruise, that one. My cohort, what we did was like, they said there was gonna be like a barbecue station at the
okay.
end, so we bought meat from the like so like it came out, and we bought meat and then we just like barbecue on the river cruise. So that was like my favorite part.
Oh, very
Like there was
cool.
like I was playing music, like I had the aux, so like on the aux playing music and like we're just dancing, enjoying like cooking and like learning about Berlin as it goes and seeing cool things in Berlin. It's really cool. Yeah.
I love it. Love Berlin in the summer, spring
I
and
love
summer. It's
Berlin.
awesome.
Spring is so much to do.
And then this next slide, Danny pulled together some photos of your did some stalking of your photos in Berlin. And I know some of these also came from we did like a disposable camera for the cohort
Yeah.
that Gus was kind of in charge of for this past summer for us. So I always love the disposable camera pics too.
That 40 did not turn out the way I thought it was gonna turn out. Uh, but yeah, my life abroad was it was great. I came in and I said, I want a new experience. I want something new, and I want
Yeah.
something different, and like I want to experience something I've never experienced before. And like Berlin, when I was in middle school, I've always like loved Berlin history, like World War II, World War One. Like it was really interesting. So being able to like be in that space and learn about that culture and learn about like really like be in that like space, was just like really interesting to me. But yeah, so like my day was like the way my week went was like Monday to Wednesday. I went to work from 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 3, like around those
Mhm.
area. And then at night, I was sometimes to go to the gym. Sometimes
Mhm.
I just like take a friend with me and just like explore the city, go out, like grab a drink or like go see what is like going on through the whole week. I think I went to like a comedy show one time. I just saw like there was this website. It's called like what is going on in Berlin, and you can find like
Okay.
different things that's happening in Berlin. So I went to there. I went to a wave, like a whole wide wave from the the picture on the right. There was a whole wave from the Brennisburg gate all the way to like the end. So like I went to that. It was really good. I met a lot of cool people from Berlin, from Germany, all the way to France, all the way to Spain. I met so many different people. Yeah, I mean, and then I'm trying to figure out like there's so much to talk about. Like there's so many things to talk about. Like there's
I
no
know.
like
I was gonna
yeah.
ask, did you do any excursions, like other places in Germany or other places in Europe? Did you do any kind of travel or day trips or things
Oh,
like that?
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So the best thing about having the Thursday, Friday remotely is like you can travel. So I went to Spain and I went to
Okay.
France.
Oh, very
And
cool.
um and then for the weekend I went Germany. I went to Dusseldorf because I have family over there. So I went to visit my cousins over there. Then we also went to Potsdam and we went to Potsdam, and then I didn't go because went to France, but I know some I call they went to Dresden as well.
Okay, very
Oh, did I
cool.
go to Dresden? I
And
think I went to Dresden.
you can
Yeah.
take trains most of those places you just said,
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
you can take trains. So when you come in there, you can buy like a $45 ticket at the beginning of the month. And the ticket takes you can use the ticket to like take the U-Bahn, S-Bahn, or any transportation in Berlin and takes you all around Berlin.
Okay, very cool.
I think it's 45 or $55 around those areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's like super easy to get around and like, yeah, even if you've never, you know, from where depending on where you're from the States, there's like a good chance that maybe you haven't done a lot of like train travel and stuff, but like
Yeah.
especially in Germany, it's like super efficient, super easy.
It's
Like it's
it's
yeah.
yeah. It's super easy. Like sometimes like a one straight shot all the way to the country. Like I believe I wanted the same. Like it was coming down to the end, and it was like one day, and I just like I want to travel. I took the after work. I took the train S-Bahn all the way to Dresden. Like it was like an hour and a half train ride. I took all the way there, spent five
Yeah.
hours in Dresden, and I came back to Berlin. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can definitely like it's so easy to like travel by train.
Yeah. And of
Yeah.
course, like we always encourage people like travel with buddies, travel with friends, like do all that. But it is like
Yes.
also super safe. Like if you wanted to like take the train by yourself or something, like you totally
Yeah.
can. Like,
You
yeah,
can. Yeah.
yeah,
This
it's
is
awesome.
so.
Another oh go ahead, Frida. What were you next?
I wanted to ask, for work and just your overall experience, did you have to be fluent in the language or
Oh
were
yeah, good
you
question.
okay just using English?
Not at all. To this day I don't know any single word about Germany. I don't know how to speak German at all or Deutsch. You don't have to learn your
You
language.
told
You don't
me
have
you knew at least like two words. You said
I
you
knew
learned.
I
Come
learned
on.
danke and danke shoes. That is the
Okay.
only thing I learned. And then speaking in English. That like can you speak English? But that's all I learned. But no, you don't have to learn the language at all. Is everyone over there is mostly speak English. I speak English. Also, like if you want to read something, there is also like translate on your phone. Can take a picture of it and translate for you. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to know the language at all. Like
Yeah.
everyone over there speak English. And also, like I want Europe to like France, Spain, all of them speak English at all.
You had an easy
Yeah,
time, yeah, getting
yeah,
around
so
and
easy.
doing all that
Yeah.
for sure. Um, And then, oh, we have a few questions we can answer real quick. I was just seeing if there was any questions about sort of what we were talking about right now. If the location you want to apply for is only available for waitlist, what does that process look like? Iris, I'm going to answer that right at the end when we get to when we talk about sort of like other locations. I'll circle back on that. Um, and then since the internship is in another country, I'll be eligible to work even if I can't currently work in the US. Yes, we get a ton of international students actually who do the program. The only thing that you need to sort of like keep an eye on or be aware of is that if you're going to be applying for that visa for Europe, that we're allowing enough time to make sure you can get the appointment and do all that because we just want to be like super cautious to like give enough time. But yes, you can as an international student definitely do the program. Okay, can we go to the next slide here? I think we have a slide on the housing. So for all of
Mm.
our locations, no matter where you go, we have furnished, pre-arranged housing. Again, that's a reason you would sort of like do the stage tour program. We're going to take care of that part for you. You're going to be living in housing also with all the other students on the program, which is nice. And often these are sort of like international student residences, where there's also like local students or maybe like over the summer over the break it's also like other people there doing like similar abroad programs, travelers, different things like that depending on your city. And Gus mentioned it, but in Berlin we use a housing provider called the Base. And yeah, Gus, I don't know if you have anything to share. Like I know you mentioned there is like shared co-working there. I think there's some other shared amenities as well in terms of
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we live in the base and best I would say like if housing is the thing, like if you want your own room, go to Berlin. Like Berlin, I've talked to people from that went to France or Spain, but like I feel like Berlin has one of the best housing, like I want stage clubs. Like not to be
The
biased
Base
or
is
anything.
very modern. The
Yeah,
Base is
this very
yeah, very
yeah.
modern. Yeah.
You have your own bed, like you have your own study space, TV, your own bathroom, and your own kitchen too, where you can like cook if you want. I love cooking, so like
Yeah.
I cook at least 5 times a week.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I still went out
Yeah.
to go eat, but like I made sure I was cooking. So and then the one thing about the base too, like they have the gym, they have a rooftop and a rooftop bar, which is really interesting, really cool. I love that. So like late nights, you text a group chat, hey guys, want to go chill at the rooftop? Everyone's at the rooftop and just like talking about life and just like stupid things. So just getting to know each other more as well. So yeah.
And the Base does some programming too, right? Like they
Oh
have some
yeah.
events and mixers
Oh
and stuff as well.
yes, yes. I listen. They have something going on at least once a month or like once a week.
Okay.
I went to a sip and paint, and like in the US, when you think about sip and paint, they'll give you like non-alcoholic beverages, but in Germany, they'll give you wine or beer, and then you have to ton of paint. Also, I went to a Portuguese bakery class. So
Okay, that's cool.
I forgot the name of what I baked, but I baked like a Portuguese like pastry. Was so good. It was so good. Like it was actually so really good. I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
Was it the
But
egg tart, the Portuguese egg tart, like that?
mm, I don't think so. It was maybe I think it was yes, I think it was there. I think it was the
Yeah.
egg tarts. Yes, I think it was there. Well yeah,
Pastel de
I was just it
nata?
was really good. Hmm?
Pastel de nata? Is that?
I
I'll
forgot
bet.
the name.
I bet that's what it was. Maybe. I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's something I'm
Probably.
not thinking. But I was like, I
Probably,
bet Frida's
maybe.
eating it. Whatever it is, a good if it's a good
Yeah.
pastry, she's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really good. So yeah, the base, they host they host different events. They host different events like throughout the whole week and throughout the whole month as well. And then you can also like since it's a co-living space, you're like kind of living with other like startup that's not part of Sage Corp. So I believe when you see when we were there, we met the UCLA kids that's from UCLA doing a different
Okay.
program
Cool.
and also the co-living space. So like I got to bond with them. I also like did some activities with them as well. So I'll say the base was really cool and it's like it's so modern and so clean. It's so clean as well.
Yeah.
It's like your own apartments basically.
Yeah, I love that neighborhood too that it's in. Just
Yes.
because it's like
Yeah.
again, like a very kind of like nice residential neighborhood and
It
like the
is.
parks nearby, the groceries
Yeah.
nearby, like yeah.
Yes. Like the grocery store was like a 5 minute walk. The park was a 2 minute
Yeah.
walk. and like there's a coffee shop around it, like around the whole area as well. So it's like you can just walk and like spend your whole day like in that area. Like you can do so many things in one day, and you still have more to do.
Yeah, yeah. The nice. Yeah, and that's a good point you made about the cooking too, because yeah, obviously that's one of those items that can, when you're putting your budget together for the summer can vary really greatly, like depending on how
Yeah.
much you're spending on going out and eating and stuff. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're wanting to save some cash, like take advantage of that
Yeah.
kitchen and do, still, of course, still try out the local foods, but like, yeah, maybe budget in some meals at
But
home
yeah,
as well. So
for sure.
it's a
And
good
like a
point.
piece of advice also like the base also had like a co-working kitchen. So it was like grab your cohort and like make a dinner together and like spend
Yeah, that's a
time like
great
making
point.
it. So yeah, like a whole big kitchen. Like you can just like go there and make a pasta, like make some together and spend time together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the family style meals, so that's awesome.
Yes.
And now, Frida, I'm going to turn it back over to you just to talk a little bit about the program inclusions, what's included in your program, and then we can also talk about funding. We'll also talk about the other locations, and we can answer the question that was in the chat around, yeah, what does the wait list process look like? And we can cover a few of those things, but turn
Yeah.
it back over to you.
Yeah, so what's included is, of course, the Sage Corp Skills Academy, the resume review, the interview preparation training, pre-departure advising, and this is all done with your program manager. And then you have your 8-week furnished housing, 2-day orientation, a welcome, midpoint, and final cohort dinner. Your internship, of course, with your startup, 4 included group activities, medical insurance, and 24/7 local staff support, which is amazing. You get to call or text your city manager at any time if you have any questions, any recommendations, or need help with anything at all during your stay. And of course, you have an unforgettable summer abroad. So, funding your program, a lot of students use university scholarships or grants. You can also apply the Sage Corp scholarship that goes for the Berlin program. It is on our funding page, and we award up to $1,000 that can cover your program cost. And then you can also do fundraising and personal planning as well. You can also reach out to your university, financial aid, or study abroad office. I know a lot of students look there for any additional scholarship opportunities or any sort of funding that they can get from clubs or anything like that that they might be involved in on campus. It's just a matter of, going out there and asking. But yeah, there's many ways to fund your program.
And the only thing I'll add on that is like I do know a lot of folks, like if we have some folks here from like Michigan, Harvard, potentially like Boulder as well, a lot of those school deadlines have passed at this point. We're getting like a little bit late, sort of like in the admissions process, even though it's only April, just because a lot of the school deadlines are a little bit earlier. So if you're 100% dependent on sort of like that school funding or something like, like the Harvard funding where you're, expecting that to cover sort of like a big chunk of your program cost, we're probably past the deadlines for this summer, but still think about it if you have sort of a few extra years or you're an undergrad or something, like consider it for next summer, planning ahead now. Like we open our summer application. I know it seems so early, but we start accepting applications like mid-November to start planning ahead and, sort of do those steps in that process if you're going to tap into something like scholarship or financial aid. There's also some awards like the Gilman Award, if you're a Pell Grant recipient, is a sort of national scholarship you can apply for as well towards a summer experience like this. And again, like that deadline's already passed for this summer. But if you're planning ahead, thinking about it, maybe that's something you want to consider for next summer, just in terms of some of those, yeah, bigger school awards. I just want to mention that. But
Thank you, Hannah. And yeah, for cost and funding, we have our prices listed here. For Berlin, the start date is May 31st and the end date is July 25th. The pricing is 7,900, but again, you can find funding through scholarships, grants, or any resources through your university or our funding page as well. And we have multiple resources listed there as well. And when filling out your application, you can place your um, first choice location and second choice location. So if you see here, Amsterdam and Barcelona are now on a wait list. But if you do really want to go to these locations, you can let one of us, someone on our team know, and we will see if any spots open up and add you to that wait list. But for now, Berlin, Lisbon, Madrid, Paris, Sydney, and our remote location have availability.
Yeah, and sort of to piggyback on that, like to the question that you asked Iris on like, what if you want to apply for a location that's waitlist only? I guess it sort of depends on your situation. Like if you're coming in and you're saying like, I only want to go to Amsterdam, I don't want to go anywhere else, like it's Amsterdam or bust, like that's totally okay. But just flag that sort of in the initial process. We're going to put a note on your application. We literally have just like a list of people. And then if either someone has to drop or if someone decides to change locations for whatever reason, we would then, yeah, let you know and you'd have a chance to sort of accept your spot for if one opens up. Things always come up where there's like sometimes like some last minute openings and changes. Like we obviously can't guarantee it, but that could happen. If you're feeling like you might be open to another location, another way you can do it is like we can essentially kind of do both, where like you're going, I really want to go to Barcelona. Like Barcelona is actually my first choice, but I would also be happy to do the program in Madrid. You can go ahead, accept your offer in Madrid. We'll enroll you there, kind of get you started. And then again, within sort of like a certain time frame, if the spot opens up in Barcelona, we can swap you over and put you in the Barcelona slot and spot you there. So you can kind of like continue with the program, enroll, plan to go abroad, but then also still be on the wait list for another city. Obviously, there's kind of a cutoff point where we can't do that anymore because at some point you're going to be, potentially, booking your flights. Like we're going to be enrolling you or matching you with the startup. Like there will be a point of no return, but we still have a little bit of a window here where it's like if you're going to enroll now, you could still sort of like enroll in Madrid and then consider, yeah, Barcelona for the wait list. So I hope that, yeah, kind of answers the question, Iris, on sort of like how that process looks. And I think, yeah, it's free to mention the most important part is just to let our team know too. Like, is it really like you really only want to go to this one place? Like you're not, sort of open other locations, or if you're kind of going, okay, actually, I want to go abroad regardless, but really my first choice is Amsterdam, Barcelona, whatever it is. And yeah, several of these other locations we're yeah kind of expecting to fill up in the next few weeks here. So we're getting kind of late in the admissions process. So
So the admissions process, you will be completing your Sage Core application online, and this is a very short application. It takes no more than 10 minutes, even less, and it's very straightforward. You will then be, if selected, you will be invited for an interview. These are recorded interviews, and we will review it. It is reviewed by someone on our team, and offers go out on a rolling basis. And here is where you'll be able to ask us more questions. You can schedule a phone call with us just to talk about it a little bit more, if you have any questions after reviewing. And then you will be able to sign your student agreement and pay that program deposit in order to enroll. And once you've accepted a spot on the program, you will choose your track and start the Sage Core Skills Academy training. And then this is where you'll also be in contact with your program manager as well. And throughout this process, if you have any questions at all, even while you're completing the application online, you can reach out to us and ask us any questions that you may have. And we will be happy to answer them and walk you through anything that you might have thoughts on. So yeah, here is our QR code. You are welcome to apply now. The late application deadline is April 10th. And like we said, it's on a rolling basis. Just make sure to send in your application. And if you have any questions at all, please ask us now or send us an email later with any questions that may come up.
yeah, and I'll add on that too. We know people love a deadline. We know people love to wait until the very last hour right before the deadline to apply for something. But if you do have a specific location in mind, or if you're thinking like, I want one of those last Paris spots or something like that. Like, I would encourage you not to wait until April 10th. Like, go ahead and get the application in now for, whatever city it is, Berlin, Paris. Like, it's just better to be early, is what I'll say. So, awesome. And then this is the same URL I put in the chat, sageford.com/apply is where our application lives. You can also email us at campusrelations@sageford.com, and that goes to our admissions team, including Frida. And someone will get back to you usually within 1 business day if you have any questions for the team. You can also set up a call with our team if you just sort of send us an email if you have any questions even before you apply. But yeah, otherwise our team is sort of there through all the steps of the application process. So we answered a few of the questions that I saw in the Q&A. Are there any other questions that people want to drop into the chat? Things you want to know? And if you're watching this recording, and again, you're not sort of on the live call, feel free to just reach out over email. You can also reach out to Gus, so you can email us and we'll connect you with him as well if you want to hear more about his experience or you want to follow up on anything that he shared today on the call. I know he'd be to chat as well, but anything going
We
once,
have we
going
have
twice?
one in the chair.
Um, I only see the two that we answered live, and then I put oh yeah, and then Gus dropped. Oh, wait, Gus, I'm gonna copy paste what you put and put it to the full chat.
Oh, okay.
So I just put in the
Yeah.
chat, Gus just dropped his email if you want to reach out to him. And yeah, have any questions about the experience, and we'll share that yeah, with the folks on the recording as well. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Gus, so much for joining us and sharing your experience. So I know it's like people always want to hear it sort of, yeah, firsthand from the folks who were there. So Frida and Gus, you're both, yeah, great examples of that. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Because you guys should definitely apply, and I hope see you guys in Berlin. Take some good pictures. I want to see what the next cohort does.